So, welcome. I'm here with Eve, and I'm a seer, and we're going to be channeling from source. And so we are wanting to bring the information through from from source consciousness, which is unconditional love. And Eve is here to help me. She will be the anchor on Earth, on Gaia. And so then I can really kind of go into the field of consciousness. And I go into like the 0 point neutrality consciousness where our higher selves and source meet, and then kind of bring the answers through from that place. I'll be having my eyes closed, which looks kind of weird, but I can only see as a seer with my eyes closed. And everything looks like a movie, and then everything kind of looks laid out like a movie. And then I see it first, and then the words come. And I can't do this by myself because to go back and forth with reading the questions. So Eve's going to be reading your questions, and then I'll be answering them from the Seer source channel. And Eve and I met through mutual friends, and our hearts align, most importantly. And she is an artist, and I'm an artist. And so we understand each other. And so it's a really wonderful vibration, and it's great to do this work together. And Eve's going to read the questions from the people. They emailed her or texted her in advance. And then eventually we will also be doing lives on YouTube, and then on socials for these. So people really have an opportunity to ask questions and have an answer from their higher consciousness or their higher self or the deep eye, and connecting that to source. So it's like a real clear pillar of light.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be today with helping Elaine and be with all of you. Okay, let's start.
Okay, so we're going to start with a grounding is really important. So if you saw nothing of this video, just this 5 minutes of doing this grounding, clearing, and just kind of setting the intention with your field is very powerful. So I'll be saying it, and then Eve's going to close her eyes, and then she's going to go like in the inner space. And then I'll close my eyes for a little bit and get connected to through my heart to source to start the channeling. So we got like a few little, I always like the little angels or guide messages, but we got the first one. So this kind of series of questions is going to really go into resilience. And I used to hate that word, but basically this little angel is bouncing on a trampoline. So we're bringing in resilience with a lot of fun. And then the second card is play. And then it's basically like they're have a beach ball in the sun, and they're, basically playing with a ball back and forth. So really we need each other, for healing and play, self-healing, and then really to trust. And the unicorn consciousness is kind of coming in. The horses, the year of the horses the next year, so that for 2026. And so then that card came forward. There's like 75 of these little tiny cards, but I find I pull them before all energy sessions, and they are so accurate. And then Kuan Yin is what I called like the divine feminine that brought in compassion, anchored compassion on earth. And she just said to really nurture your inner light, like really nurture your inner light, like really connect with the light body. Okay, so let's land here in this space, in this time now, in the present moment, and then connecting through our hearts, connecting through the deep eye, which is Eckhart Tolle's word for higher self or our higher self, connecting through. And as we land here in the present moment, connecting our hearts, let's just take a breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out. So we're grounded in Gaia's loving and supportive energy. And we're fully anchored with Gaia. And we give thanks to the ancestors of the land who have walked this path before us with much love and much respect. We draw strength from Gaia as we are centered into our own being. grounded, and connected through the heart. We now open our hearts to Source. Our hearts are the sacred gateway to divine love, to wisdom and healing. We're fully aligned with Source energy, connected to all that there is. And then we're connecting through the golden light through our hearts. And then imagine a field of golden light from Source around us like a golden bubble. We now call upon our highest selves for answers and clearing and alignment, connected to Source. And we surround this space with a golden shield of Source light that is impenetrable and protective. All energies are aligned only with unconditional love, Source, and our highest and greatest good. And that is all that can enter in this space. All interference is blocked by our higher selves and our guides of unconditional love. And we now open the channel of unconditional love and compassion with Source. May all guidance that comes through serve the heart and our highest good, bringing self-healing, clarity, and empowerment through Source. We now set the intention that all information and wisdom that comes through applies to all time, all space, all dimensions, with the intention of clearing to the root causes and shifting energy across all timelines. This energy work is permanent and aligned only with the highest and greatest good with Source. So with that intention, all energies in this space must be fully aligned with Source, unconditional love, and truth. Any energies not aligned with the highest good are now released and returned to Source for healing. We reinforce this golden shield of Source protection around our spaces. And then only energies of divine truth and love are present. We give thanks to Source, our higher selves, and our guides of unconditional love, and Gaia. Thank you for the love and the wisdom and the protection for this sacred space. The field is now open. And I'm just going to close my eyes, and Eve's going to now open her eyes and facilitate. And I'm going to go into the field of consciousness and connect. Okay, we're ready. So we can ready for the first question.
First question is, how will my husband's deal be completed? Will it end positively for our family? Irina, 1985.
Can you read the question again? Arena 1985. Okay.
How will my husband's deal be completed? Will it end positively for our family?
Okay. So the work of the family, so the husband's work, but also how does it affect the family? Okay. So we're just looking at all the areas of the work. Yeah, so what we're seeing right away is a lot of static. So it's a lot. Okay, so what do we mean by that? So his mind is not stopping. So his mind is thinking. And it's like creating like a static, like it's kind of like that's what it looks like to us. So there's no space, there's no spaciousness, there's no space around. We want to say for like the divine, there's no space for Source, there's no space. Well, of course, Source is always there, but wait, we need to create like a spaciousness. Um, and that comes through the heart. So the intention we can see really clearly is money and success. So money and success is what keeps looping. Money and success. I need to make more money. I need to be successful. I need to make more money. I need to be more successful. That's what keeps looping. So we keep seeing that loop, but that's the loop of the mind. So that's not a good, it's not, okay, how do we want to say this? When you're trying, when anyone's trying, when we're trying to create anything, we're trying to manifest and create things um, on Earth, but the new Earth, Gaia, because Earth has already shifted. So Earth is shifting dimensions from 1 to 3, which is very mind-based, to 4, 5, 6, which is awakening your consciousness, awakening your inner light. We're seeing that he's not interested. He's not interested in any of that. None of that would matter to him. But we're saying, we're making the suggestion to him that maybe that's something to look at. Maybe it is something to look at. Maybe it is something that is actually more important. So, because for creation, there needs to be a flow of energy, a flow of source energy. And when you hold on things really tight, like with fear, because of course it's a lot of money. So on Earth, it's like a just tight, we can just seize like tight grip, just tight grip of fear. And then the mind, right? Replaying all the things to be afraid of. But there's no spaciousness for source. There's no spaciousness for the divine. So there's that connecting with source and the divine creates this spaciousness to not just look for opportunities, but to bring in a vibration of success, to bring in a vibration of abundance. We would say he's very tight-fisted is what we're seeing. He's very tight-fisted. It's a lot of money, we understand, but this is not the flow state. It's not how to create abundance. And the world, Earth is shifting with or without anybody, but she's shifting in consciousness. So the old world was, yeah, tight grip and just, muscle through. But that's not the new Earth. The new Earth is Gaia, and Gaia is about consciousness, connection, the flow state, bringing in answers through the divine, co-creating through the heart. And the heart actually is the hardest thing to activate on Earth. So, lots of people have said, oh, well, it's, been reduced to the romantic. It's not romantic. It is actually your higher self is connected through your heart. So we're saying that has a tight rein on everything. And he's sucking the life out of it. He's so tight that he sucks the life. There's no source energy that can come through. No source light. So, well, it feels sad actually. We feel sad about it because this is actually many people, because fear is such a big grip on Earth, but it's the mind. So that's not consciousness. The mind isn't consciousness. So the mind, that's where all the static is coming from. It's where all the fear is coming from. And then he's looping the fear over and over and over and over and over again. So it's almost like he's embedding the fear. So he thinks the heart is just romantic. It's not romantic. The heart is not romantic. The heart is the portal to source, to the divine, to your higher self. and it was reduced to romantic on Earth because it's that powerful. So we can feel that it's intense. His whole mind is super intense. It's like how it looks for us is like gray, but it's like wires going over and over and over and over and over each other. Like, whew, there's like a desperation and exhaustion, it's like it feels like everybody's like exhausted, and it's like the energy just feels heavy, like, we're so tired. It's kind of like we want him to look at, okay, success and money, but what's behind the success and money, right? So if it's to show everybody, that you're successful, then why do you need to show people? Like, like if you need to show people in order for them to revere you, then they're not respecting you for being a human being. Like your human being, your being is first, not what you do, not what you accomplish, your being. Your being connecting to your heart, connecting to your higher self, connecting to the divine, connecting to source. So this is all news for him. He's never thought of this. He knows this. He knows it on a soul level, but he's not thought about it. He's blocked it out, which means he's blocked us out, which is like source. So we're just talking to him, you know, seeing where the opening and the possibility of the opening is. Because of course, then it's going to affect the family, the partnership. So the I think what we can do for him now and for the family, I think what we can, yeah, we feel like so much tension in the jaw, like so tight, just so much tension in the jaw, and then just so tight with the fist, like just so tight. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna offer him like a reset. And so it's going to bring in a lot of source gold light. It's going to bring in a lot of light into his cells and a lot of love into his cells to activate him, basically. He's very disconnected, but of course he's not disconnected to source, but we're just releasing for him. It's so intense in the mind. It's like unbelievable. Like he will have headaches. It's gonna hurt. His head hurts and his jaw hurts. So um we're just gonna because the question was from Arena, so we're just gonna we what we're seeing is their pathways are not open. And so we want to suggest that the pathway is open, and we believe that his soul will understand this. But this is an opportunity to connect inside through the heart, to open up the space so that the opportunities can meet him. But, they can't meet him if he's all tightly closed. So, and you can say that, well, some people are very successful and they're very tightly closed and they're, billionaires and trillionaires, and they've done it. But, they might not be light beings. Yeah. So don't compare yourself to other people because they might not have the consciousness that you have. And also your higher self and your consciousness will want you to learn different things in this life. And so we can't compare, well, this trillionaire did this and he was tight fisted. and he was super controlling and tight-fisted, but and he made trillions of dollars, but that's not his path. Okay, so his path as is as a light being, like a human being. And so he can't copy other billionaires or trillionaires. He can't copy their methods because they don't apply to him. So he's a heart-based soul. And so he's here to awaken and connect with his soul on earth and make decisions that are soul led. So he can't compare himself to the other millionaires or billionaires or trillionaires because it won't land with his vibration. And then if he wants success, that is a definite way of not getting success. So I guess we want to say he has to know what his own vibration is, and he's a soul-based being. So he can now open that portal in the heart, and that will awaken kind of all of his systems instead of everything being kind of jammed. Right now, everything's like jammed shut. So it's very stressful. So we're just gonna, the message came through. So we're giving him the message. And so how he will feel, it will feel like a lot of light. It'll feel like there's like a spotlight on him. But it's a positive spotlight. It's a spotlight of unconditional love. But if you're not used to bringing that into your life, it's going to be very shocking. So we're just calming his nervous system, and we're seeing where in his system can there be an opening or an opportunity to bring this shift in to him and to his family. So yeah, the way he's pushing forward, we don't see that as the way for him, because his higher self was, if he discounts the soul, his higher self, it's not the right vibration for him. So it will be blocked basically. So we just want to invite him to connect with his heart, connect to source, connect to his higher self, which is the soul, the oversoul, and then start shifting from there, and kind of not listening to the mind, but the heart. He knows how to do this. So he knows how to do this, and he's been getting reminders to do this, and he's been ignoring them, thinking they're frivolous for what he's trying to accomplish. But it's actually the opposite. This is essential, and everything else is frivolous. So this is the first place to start. He knows how to do this. He knows. So we're only reminding him and just suggesting that he remember. And then we'll just bring in the source gold light for, yeah, just releasing. It's a lot of words want to come out of the throat. A lot of words want to be spoken. There's a lot of tension. So we're just releasing it for the family, and then the unspoken words, and then just releasing that for them to have an opportunity to have a conversation. But we're seeing, the jaw is like really tight, and then the teeth, especially on the left side, hurt. So we're just going to bring in source gold light, and then also to ask for a source reset, which will a reset to the original design of their consciousness. And then that actually brings in quite a huge shift, but it's very gentle. But it's an opportunity. So we're just going to offer that as an opportunity, and then maybe leave it at that. Okay, so we're just going to close Irina and her husband and the family, and just close that for now. I mean, we're just going to close it and just release it all to source. Okay. Okay, good. So just looking and that it's all cleared and they've been released. And so, yeah, we can go with the next question.
Next question is, what could help me lose weight? Could we uh, like bring some motivation and some healing and yeah, that
So who's
help
this for?
has help this person um uh to get the dream. It's Johnny 1975.
Joni?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Johnny
Okay.
nine.
Joni, 1975.
Mhm.
So what would help with kind of losing weight, kind of having a body reset?
Yeah, or maybe
Um,
what uh what didn't get what bother from losing weight or like yeah.
yeah, why is the body holding on to excess weight? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's look into Joni. And then she was 1975. So Joni,
Right.
let's look. Um, well, right away, like her body's tired. Her body's tired, and her body is tired of all the negative.
This is the male.
Oh, is it? Okay, thank you. So is it Joni
Johnny. Mm-hmm.
or Tony with a
Johnny.
T?
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, okay, Johnny. Okay, all right, all right. Sorry. I thought you said Joni. So Johnny, 1975.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny. Okay. So Johnny. Okay, let's look at Johnny's field. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he's got a lot of power. He's totally different than Joni. So whoever Joni in 1975, we're gonna let her go. So Johnny, 1975. So he has like some power. He has he's mostly in his present life now, almost like he's blocked the intuitive side of the body. So the left side, it's like he's blocked the like he's very grounded in the present, in the earth. Um, but the other side, like the intuition side and the um like it's like his body's split and he only has half a body. So, and well, it's not funny, but he's asking about weight, but really he's like split himself where he's very much anchored into the material, like the present world now. We're seeing that's very solid. He's very grounded, he's very solid, which is good. But then we're seeing the other side of him, which is like the intuitive side, the heart side, the love side, the self-love, the gut instinct, the intuition side, and we're seeing like it's empty. So like an empty refrigerator. So this refrigerator in the present life is full, and then the intuitive heart-based part, because we have more than the earth-based part. Um, so a lot of light workers and empaths and sensitives will have like no food in the refrigerator on the right side, and then they'll have everything on the left side. Like, they'll have such huge activated gifts of consciousness. And so he's like full, really full on one side, which is like what we call like the grounded human body, the grounded human being. But that's good because he's very grounded. He's very, so he'd be very um so somebody that is very grounded, their root chakra, the first energy center, for in terms of like manifesting and creating, he'd be actually very good in that area. And so we're seeing like that's his most activated energy center. So so we'd say he's like a good worker. He's good at making money. And then we go to the second chakra, the second energy center, which would be the sacral, which is emotions and relationship. And then it starts getting wobbly very quickly. So right away, he's like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. That's what he's telling us. I don't want to do any of that stuff. And um, but he might not want to do any of that stuff, but his body is crying out for a balance. And and the human body wants to have the balanced of all the energy centers. And so he's really good with his root chakra. Like we can feel, he's very grounded. He's a good, manifestor builder kind of creator kind of guy. So that's good. He's really developed that. But then as soon as we get to the second energy center, which is emotions and relationships, and then it goes offline. Like he's like, I'm not doing any of that. So, but look at what all that other energy centers. Then he has the solar plexus, which he asked about was what's the will? Like, how come I can't use my will to create these changes for myself and for my body? And then the heart, the heart is like, he's a good provider. So he's really good. He's got really good masculine energy, actually. He's really good. And then, but his heart, no way. He's saying that is a closed door, forget it. And then we go to the throat, and, he's like, I'm not telling people how I really feel. There's no way. And then we look at the third eye, which is his vision, and he can envision things, but as long as they're connected with the first chakra, the root chakra, which is in terms of creating. And then the crown, he's a bit activated in the crown, like in the top of the head. So that's the connection to source, to consciousness, but not much. So he's saying no, no. But we know he asked the question. So on some level, he does want to know. So because he asked the question. So that's really good. He's asking, he wants to know what is going on. And we're saying it is a question of balance. The rootedness into earth, and as an earth-based being is, he has a full refrigerator. And then everything else, you know, there might be some moldy cheese. There's nothing much on the other side. And so, but the human being and the human body needs actually a balance of both. And so for some people, they have everything on the intuitive side, like they have a full refrigerator, and then they have barely anything in their earth-based body, or the connection to Gaia. So it's just we're going to say that this is a question not of willpower, because he actually has a good momentum with creating things, but it is an energetic imbalance. So his okay. He's like, what are you going to say? So what we're going to say to him is what we would like to do is actually start activating your energy centers so that they are they're supposed to spin like in a spiral and energy. And then the root chakra, the first energy center, is like, yeah, it's spinning, and he's co-creating, with the universe. He's co-creating with source and with Gaia, with earth. He's doing it. So we're saying that's really good. But all the other energy centers are barely open. And so his body is basically trying to um um his body is holding the pressure of what it feels like for those other energy centers to be closed. We're just going to release for him. And again, okay, so we just try to give everybody momentum, try to give everyone a chance to get a head start, in these sessions and these questions. So the body is basically it it is constricted. So to us, he looks like he's thin like a stick, you know, but physically, because the energy centers, there's no room for them because none of them are activating and they're not balanced. So we want to see the circulation and the activation of the other energy centers. But we get the message. He says no, like he's scared. So we're going to look at why is he scared and what can we do to help him in this time space? Because maybe he was scared, you know, we're seeing he was scared in childhood. So he's not little anymore, but the body is still protecting his little younger self. And so his little younger self doesn't know that he's grown up and he's accomplished and he's safe and he's secure and he's, you know, he's accomplished a lot in his life. So we want to say to his younger self, you know, it's okay. You know, you're not little anymore. You don't have to be stuck. And we can start, you know, bringing you into the present and start expanding the energy centers, getting the energy flowing and all the other energy centers. So there's like a balance. The word that's coming through is that there's a homeostasis, but it's really a coming home to your own heart. And so the body is just trying to basically take the hit for the constriction. The other energy centers are so tight and closed, and it creates such a stress in the body and such a stress on the nervous system. And so that was the body's way of helping. So, like another example, say if people dissociate a lot or go out of their body a lot, then the body will put on weight to keep them weighted to the earth. But he's grounded, he's connected to the earth. So we're just going to gently start opening, you know, with his higher self through the heart, with source consciousness, you know, with the divine. We're just going to start opening the energy centers, you know, to create a balance, um, and just kind of get the you know, the body, mind, spirit kind of on the same page. So the soul is the spirit. So the his body, he's actually very grounded in the earth. So he's um so yeah, we're just gonna clear his throat so he can speak his truth and feel safe. You know, he doesn't have to be so nice. He doesn't have to be so nice to everybody. He can be nice, but do it because it's good for him too. You know, like to see that he's doing things for himself too. So like more co-creating. And then we're just gonna open all the energy centers just very gently. So they're very close. So we would say like 100% is open and spiraling beautifully. And we would say they're at 10%. So 10% is not a lot. So we're opening the energy centers one by one. So so the root chakra is very anchored so that we're using that as a springboard. So the root chakra, and then the second one is the sacral. And then that's 2 inches below the belly button. So all the relationships, and then the solar plexus where the ribs meet, we're opening that one. So we're starting slow. So he's at 10. So we're starting like, okay, let's try 20. You know, let's see how he flows if we double it, you know. So 10 to 20 is good. That's doubling. But, you know, we want to get closer to like 100%. So we're just going to bring in actually source gold energy to help, and then to bring that into all of his cells, the source energy, source golden energy. So we're bringing in all the gold into all of the chakras, just one by one, just activating them one by one, nice and slow, so he doesn't feel overwhelmed. It's a lot of light, you know, especially when you've kept those chakras closed for a long time. So yeah, he's had a, what, 5 decades with this. So like, let's just look at it being very gentle. But this is an opportunity because he's asking, so this is a really good opportunity, but who's he asking? He's asking his higher consciousness. He's asking his higher self. So I'm just moving the energy really gently. And then we're just going to ask for a source reset for Johnny, a source reset to his original design. That's kind of a fast track. So, because we know he doesn't want to go years and years like this, he wants to see results, he wants to see, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. He wants to see it fall off easily and effortlessly. It's not about willpower, it's about energy and his energy centers and bringing in balance. And then once he feels balanced, he's going to feel, wow, he's so secure. He's going to think, wow, can this be real? Because it seems simple, but it actually, to view his whole system to see what the root cause is, um, takes that attention, and he asks the right question. So, or he asked a good question. There's no right questions. He just asked a good question. So we're just moving all the energy centers. So the sacral is now around 20, but we can feel it really hurts his jaw and his teeth on the left side. So we know that that's connected to that, those relationships are connected to when he was really little. So, but we're not going to go into the details of what happened when he was really little, but just that, we're honoring his younger selves and just letting them know that they don't have to be stuck anymore, that they can be integrated now into his heart and then to source, basically, but through the heart. So we're using the right side of his body because it's so developed. We're using it to help the other side of his body, the more intuitive side. So we're using that as an anchor, and then just bringing in, just showing the body, well, reminding the body, that it can let go now. Source is here, consciousness is here, his higher self is here, his younger selves are taken care of, and they're having a source reset. So in all time spaces, so really they're going to feel that healing. So we're clearing his throat chakra. So clearing his throat chakra. So yeah, we felt like we wanted to cough because it's a fast way of getting it out, but then we didn't want to cough on the recording. So we were like, what else do we do? So basically we did a cough, but through like using the throat muscles. So instead of it coming outwards, we use the muscles to process it. So that's good. He'll feel good. That's a good release. And then he's kind of like, oh no. So, because it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of light. So, but it's from source, right? So it's always for your highest and greatest good. And then you always choose to say yes or no. But we are suggesting or recommending that this is actually from him, from his higher self, and that it is connected from source. So we're just looking at all the energy centers, and we're going to start, we think doubling it to 20% is actually will be quite a lot. And then we'll just keep working with him. And then he can listen to this recording over and over, and then just keep activating all of the energy centers, and just opening. He just has to say yes to kind of like feeling that flow. But we're sending him a lot of source unconditional love and golden light to really be gentle with himself with these activations, and yeah, he's gonna feel a lot better. So yeah, the in activating the intuitive side of his being is gonna actually bring a lot of comfort, and it's gonna release this agitation that he has, because he's gonna feel like more whole, and then the body will release and unwind the weight as he is comfortable, because he has it there from that imbalance, so it was a way of the body, saying, I'm here for you until you're ready to look at this. I'm here for you. And then, we can just hold on. But now we're saying to the body, it can let go now. And then let the spiral of all the energy centers start opening, and then just bringing in that integration of both the material and the metaphysical. So we're just going to do an overall energy clearing. So kind of head to toe, toe to head, just really quickly, just bringing in the source golden light, kind of putting it all around him. So his body and consciousness kind of remembers that this is always available for him. So just imagining the gold light from source going from head to toe and toe to head, and then all around. So yeah, and then he has one tooth that really hurts on the low part. We're going to just send some source energy work, some source gold light to the tooth, on the low side on the left. So it usually corresponds with like an organ as well. So, but we're just going to send the golden light from source to that area, and then just see if it can shift. Yeah. Okay. He's going to feel like, whoa. When he starts feeling all the other energy centers, he's going to be like, wow, like this is how people feel. But he knows how this feels because he had this when he was little, and then he shut it down. But it makes sense, there's no judgment, because it makes sense that of course he would have, the body will always protect you. So now we're letting the body know it can let go now, and then activating the self healer through the higher self, through the heart. And then right now there's like an agitation in him, and we're just basically like, we just removed it for him. We just really wanted to give him like a source reset to really get a boost, to really get this kind of running for him, so we're kind of now it's good. So as soon as we said that, it's like, okay, now we're getting to 30%. Well, that's really good. With the energy center starting off at 10. Okay, now look, it didn't take us that long to get to 30%. But we're looking at the whole system and looking at his whole system, really wanting him to feel safe and integrated. Because at first, with the second chakra, it feels like, whoa, like, oh, like when you go up an elevator really fast, it's kind of when you bring in a lot of source golden light, that's what it can feel like if it's been like an area that's been blocked. So good, Johnny. We're like saying it's good. And so just keep going. You can do this. And then just, speak how you want to speak, like you matter, you're equal, and your perceptions are accurate. So all of this was activated when he was young, and then it got shut down. So we've just reminding the body to reactivate, and then he'll just continue with opening this, and he can just say, to his higher self, yes, I want source reset. Yes, I want source's golden light to come into all of the cells and all of the energy centers. Like, yes, I want this energy healing and clearing that's like a self-healing, right? Because it's you to source. So it's direct. There's no middle person. So it's you with source. And so, yes, I want this healing and integration and this clearing. And then just seeing the energy centers move like in a spiral. So we're at 35%. So we're going to leave him with his higher self, knowing that the younger selves have been removed from those time spaces and have been integrated into his heart. and then did a source reset for head to toe, toe to head, and then back to front. And then all the energy centers are now activating, and they're like, moving along. So from 10, now they're at 35%. That is really good. But we want the refrigerator on one side to be equal on the other side. So to activate all of his gifts, these are gifts that these are all natural abilities and talents that he has that are on the intuitive side. And then just releasing again for him. And yeah, all right. So we're going to close now. We're going to close now for Johnny, just because this is a good start for him. So, and he can listen to this recording over and over again to get these activations and clearings. And then he's going to remember. So this isn't going to be foreign. His consciousness remembers and his consciousness knows. So yeah. All right, so now I'll just say goodbye to Johnny for now, and then just clear the space, bringing in source golden light to clear the space and clear in all time spaces so that Johnny is fully back with himself and his higher self and his team of consciousness. Yeah, so we're just going to clear him out. He has good energy. He's powerful. It's good. So we'll just, he's powerful, so he's sticking around, but we're saying it's good. We're going to clear. He can do the rest by himself. This is a good, really good activation and starting point. So, yeah. Mhm. So just asking your higher self for source reset can take care of a lot. All right, so thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much. Do we have time for one more question?
Sure. Yeah.
Um, Question is, what's going on in relationship between me and my fiance? What could make us happy with Anton? A question from Yulia, 1991.
Okay, so Eula, 1991. So it's like a relationship question. So what can bring the couple closer together? Kind of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what
Bring them
what can bring them joy and happiness, and
mm,
we heal them if it's possible.
and heal them. Okay, sure. So Eula, 1991. Is that
Right?
right? Am I getting her name right?
Yeah.
Eula? Okay, good, because we don't want to go into another
Julia.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yulia. Okay, Yulia. Okay, so let's look at Yulia's field. So her field of consciousness. Um, yeah, she's really good. She's has a really good heart. She's a very heart-based person. Um, hmm. So yeah, the what we're seeing is the block. So we're looking at her and we're looking at him, and then we're looking at, okay, how is the relationship together? So right away we're seeing that Julia's like energy is the stronger one in terms of the love, like the love, like being a loving person. She's like very loving. Um, she likes, as soon as we looked at her, she likes the light. She likes source light. She likes um like love. She likes it. So, and then when we look at the partner, then we're seeing, not so much. Not that he isn't loving, but he doesn't really love it the way she loves it. Um, she's very open, and we're seeing that he's not. So, whoa, then yeah, he's like put his foot down. So basically, he really puts his foot down, and he's can get very stubborn, like literally. Um, and she's not like that. So he really puts his foot down and really like, it's done, it's enough. It's this, is that, it's like done. and she's like, ugh, quite shocked. She doesn't know what to do with that because to her, it's like there's no, like, it's not a back and forth relationship. Like, it's not like, she's discussing something and then he discusses it and then they go back and forth and then she's talking and then he's talking and then, whoa, oh my goodness. That was wild. Okay, so whoa. So the whole computer fell off the table. So um okay, I'm gonna go back in, but that, like, he has a strong energy. So he has a very strong energy. So she's asking the question though. So we're going through her higher self. So I'm gonna go back in and then we're gonna see what like what happened. Like, what happened? So we really saw that he put his foot down and then there was this back and forth, but he didn't like the back and forth and then I actually took my computer off my table. But I hit it with my hand. But we know that everything is, there's a there's a reason for everything. So, but yeah, are you ready? I'm going to go back in.
Are you able to go back in, or maybe we will answer next time this?
Let me try. Let me see, because I'm curious, because this has never happened. I'm curious to see why it happened.
Mhm.
And then I'm curious to see, what, like, if I can go right back in. So let's just be curious and we'll just see. So I'm just going to tune in again to, yeah, they're saying to leave it. So he kind of put his foot down. He really put his foot down. He didn't want us to look. So he really put his foot down and then basically knocked the computer off. So, but that's energy, so that would be like, you know, any energy is in any time space. So we're always connected, um, in all time space, and that, yeah, he's saying no. So when I checked back in and he meant it, he's just like, so we can look at she can look at it so far of what the answer was that came through. Um, she can look at it kind of like the beginning and then kind of see how she feels and then see how she wants to phrase the question, or if she wants to look at it again more from her point of view, not his point of view. So say he is somebody that really puts his foot down. Okay, but what does that mean for her? And then how does she feel about that? And then what does she want? So we can kind of look at it again, but then from more of her point of view, if she wants. But she can kind of see this and then see how she feels, because really, literally, but that, um, the computer falling, and the computer fell and then you could see the ceiling. So it's almost like things need to get turned upside down in a way. They just zoomed in on me. So maybe that. But like, if we actually look at, what happened in the physical, but the physical is the metaphysical, so the physical is the energy as well. And then sometimes, or all the time actually, that we get the physical clues, that can help clear and shift things quickly. So maybe this created enough energy to kind of bring in a shift, turn things upside down, literally. Just
It,
so
it's something to think about it.
yeah, it's something to think about because it's really interesting. Like, it's really interesting that, like, all of these are not a coincidence, like they have a meaning to them. So, but yeah, he has a lot of energy, to be able to do that. So, but it's free will. So
Mhm.
we'll see how she does with just the information that was put through right off the top. We'll see how she feels. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
for this clear explanation and your uh, reading. Uh, Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Eve. It was very, some of the answers were very surprising. So it's always interesting going in the field of consciousness to get answers and connecting to source. And um, I just want to remind everybody, energy work takes a lot of hydration. Drink water, drink herbal tea, just really get your hydration. It's even when when Eve and I meet and we're drinking tea and we're drinking water, we're still dehydrated. So just take care of yourselves. And these activations can seem very simple, but they actually go deep and on a cellular level and a heart-based level. So take some time to integrate, you can listen to it over and over, and then you're going to even hear things at different times because your openness will change. As you get used to listening, there's like more openings that can happen. Yeah. But yeah, got kicked out of the field there. Um, So should we close or is there anything you want to share or should we close up?
I think it's a lot of, I think even for during this hour, you helped a lot to everybody. Uh, yeah, I think let's continue in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let's continue. We'll continue in the next one. So,
Yeah.
follow us. It's going to be under, on YouTube. The YouTube channel is under my name, Elaine Arsons, and then Eve will be there. So there'll be Seer and Source channel sessions with Eve and Elaine. And you can always book a private session with us as well. Say if you have lots of questions and you want to have like a full hour to yourself where it's just the focus is on you and your questions. And then that's would be like a private recording. So yeah, so that's exciting. So should we close?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's close and we had a nice dramatic moment. So let's close. So we give thanks to Source, to our higher selves, connecting through the heart, our guides of unconditional love, and Gaia. We thank you for the love and the wisdom and the protection that has been shared in this session, in this transmission of consciousness. May all the energies from this session continue to support everyone for their highest and greatest good. And we seal this space now in golden light, and all energy work is anchored and integrated. The space is now closed with love and with gratitude, with much thanks and much love, and sealed with Source's golden light and unconditional love remain present. And so, with much love and much thanks, see you in the next one. We will connect again.
Elaine, and bye, everyone.
Yeah, and thank you, Eve. You didn't hold the space. Imagine if you weren't grounded in the space. Well, maybe the whole room would have gone flying. Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, take care. Bye.